Hello and welcome back to Notable Trends here at part of Bulls and Bears Daily. We are looking at CPB. It is one of the most interesting ones that we think when we're talking about something that just flipped bullish today. Now, with the way that the app works, you've got the images in your email. It will mean that we have the daily sentiment flipping. It's two in a row, which is one of the most important indicators when you look at something long term, is when you're going to see two in a row of the longer term indicator here, the trend actually flipping bullish. When you get 2 days in a row, that lets you know that there's something significant that's happening. It may or may not result in anything, but it's something to pay attention to, and it's something we like to observe here. Now, we're looking at CPB. One of the reasons I want to bring this up is because this is such a bad chart. Now, if we actually look at the overall data, you can see down here that we've got 9 months of data where the price has gone nowhere but lower. It was at $57. We are now down at 41. We do have a bullish flip. We do have a go long when we're looking at the signals that we have in the overall stock. But we do not have a goal. We do not have a rolling positive return on a 5-day, 15-day, 1 month, 3 month, or 6 month. I need to see at least a 5-day and probably a 15-day return to flip positive. That would make me even feel kind of comfortable taking a position in this. I mean, you are only 7% away on the 1 month, but that's not necessarily a good or bad thing. From where you're coming from, you would expect to see probably a little bit of mean reversion, but we're already at 50% in terms of sentiment. That's what's really interesting. On the 10-day rolling sentiment, you can see that we're already at 61%. We've come off of these like 40s that we had in August when things were really, really bad back in August. We are seeing a move higher, even on the 23-day rolling return for the bullishness, which is huge. And I'd say it's huge because you see that it was essentially rotating here between like 51 down to like 47%. Like it never really went above 51. Now we're above 52. That is significant because we haven't been there since August 3rd, and the rest of the month wasn't very good. Now, when we look at the overall charts, what's interesting, again, just a really ugly chart. We look at the weekly for CPB. This is what's so important is that understanding that even though a bullish flip is a really good thing to see in a stock, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is the end all be all. And I think there's a lot of people who would say you don't want to use like a one factor model. You don't want to be fixated on just one thing. You want to be able to kind of rotate or at least be stylistically be able to drift to a certain extent so you can incorporate a lot of different styles as long as you maintain your same risk management, because risk management is the most important thing. The style you have to just let the market give you what it can. But CPB is showing you that it's potentially going to be flipping bullish on the daily. I wonder, like, look at that weekly. It is down at 41, and you could see that it was down at 39 back in 2021. That was the low then. Interesting to look at the weekly data, actually, because here's what the weekly data looks like. You can see that we have the weeks on the side here. This is, I mean, you're already back in June, and you're at some very low lows. Across the board, though, even when we looked at the daily return, we still have a very bad return because on the 5-week, 15-week, 5-month, 1 year, 15-month, and 30-month, we're rolling negative returns. And we have been, if you look, since the 9th of June, it was at $46. That's when you got a full flip across the board. Now, it wasn't confirmed necessarily in the 1 year and the 30-month. I do like to see, just like with the bullish or bearish, I like to see at least two in a row to convince me. So I would have believed it here, 15-week, 5-month. I mean, 5-month is something to really pay attention to, and you should have paid attention to it back in April. But this is when the weekly flipped. And if you look at the weekly bullish or bearish that flipped and you had two in a row, you're looking, it was back June 2nd, June 9th. That was a great time to get out. I mean, you wouldn't have probably gotten out until it's $46, but that would save you some money from where you are right now. You'd be down, what are we down, 15% from then? I mean, yeah, we're down 20% over 15 weeks, so we're probably down like 15% from that point. These are the type of thing that you want to pay attention to, and this is why it's so important to be able to have something that just works for you every single day. That's always going through the market and is always looking for the new trend changes and things for you to pay attention to. You may not look at it from the perspective that I do with the data. You may look at it from a chart. That's super important just to have something that's always looking for you. But this has been the most notable change on the bullish side. I will also be looking at the most bullish thing or the most notable change on the bearish side. Talk to you soon.